Although Donny Hathaway achieved his greatest commercial success as Roberta Flack's duet partner, the body of solo work he left behind proves that he is one of the greatest soul singers that ever existed. He was born on October 1, 1945, in Chicago, Illinois, but was raised in St. Louis, Missouri, by his mother and maternal grandmother, who quickly acknowledged his vocal talents. He had a strong spiritual upbringing and began showcasing his musical gifts as a toddler in the church choir. By the time he turned 6, he was composing his own music, playing the piano, and strumming the ukulele. Amid his teenage years, Donny was perceived as a virtuoso, and after he graduated from high school in 1964, he attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., where he received a full fine arts scholarship. While majoring in music education, he started singing on weekends with the cocktail jazz group, the Rick Powell Trio. The songs were gratifyingly different from the hymns he sang in church, and triggered Donny's decision to leave school a year prior to graduation to pursue opportunities in the entertainment industry. He moved to Chicago and accepted a job offer as a songwriter and orchestration arranger at Curtom Records, a record company founded by Curtis Mayfield and Impressions manager Eddie Thomas. While there, he sang backup with the Mayfield Singers and recorded the track I Thank You, a duet with June Conquest, released in 1969. Feeling increasingly limited under the Curtom label, he signed as a solo artist with Atco, an imprint of Atlantic Records, and released his powerful debut single, The Ghetto. More singles followed, and in July 1970, he issued his first studio album, Everything is Everything. Later that year, Donny dropped the innovative tune, This Christmas. The song is characterized by his distinctive voice, upbeat tempo, and catchy melody, which all combine to create a festive and joyful atmosphere as he sings about spending the holidays with loved ones and spreading cheer. This Christmas has become a staple of holiday playlists that continues to capture the spirit of the season year after year. A cover of the song by Chris Brown was recorded for the 2007 film of the same name. In 1971, Donny released his second full-length album titled Donny Hathaway. Classics like A Song for You and He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother would come to solidify his musical legacy for generations to come. Amidst his thriving success, Donny's peers and loved ones noticed a difference in his personality. He would slip into intermittent states of confusion and quickly switch from being happy to conducting himself with fury. Consequently, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. While regimens were primitive back then, Donny was treated with an oral dose of 14 pills to be taken 3 times a day. Despite the unanticipated struggles with his mental health, his career continued to escalate. His live album was released and immediately edged into the top 20 and is still considered one of the greatest live albums of all time. It was recorded at 2 of the most historic rock clubs in the country, Side 1 at the Troubadour in West Hollywood, California, and Side 2 at the Bitter End in New York City's Greenwich Village. Fellow artist Roberta Flack, who was embarking upon her own successful recording career and also a solo artist on the Atlantic label, released her debut album First Take, for which Donny wrote 2 songs. Her sophomore album, Chapter 2, also included a song written by Donny and featured him as a session pianist, arranger, and background vocalist. The inspiration behind the partnership of these 2 talents came when Atlantic Records vice president Jerry Wexler suggested that they join forces. In May of 1972, Donny and Roberta released their first duet album, titled Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway, which generated the 3 hit singles You've Got a Friend, I Who Have Nothing, and the soft romantic ballad Where Is the Love. Aside from his work as a singer, Donny was hired by music producer Quincy Jones to write and perform the original motion picture soundtrack for the blaxploitation film Come Back Charleston Blue. His voice made its television debut when he was selected to sing the theme song for Norman Lear's television sitcom Maude, the first spin-off of the then-popular All in the Family. Donny recorded and released his final studio album, Extensions of a Man, in 1973. Songs like Someday We'll All Be Free and I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know secured spots on both the R&B and pop charts. But soon after the album's release, Donny retreated from the spotlight as his struggles with mental health reached new heights and began to affect his ability to fulfill professional obligations. He grew tired of taking his medication and enduring its side effects, and at times he claimed that he was well enough to do without it. Subsequently, the intervals of being unmedicated caused the episodes and symptoms of his condition to get worse. He was hospitalized on multiple occasions due to hallucinations, delusions, depression, and intense anxiety. He performed periodically in small nightclubs, but it wasn't until years later when his fortunes improved that he re-emerged and started recording songs again. Roberta Flack's sixth studio album, titled Blue Lights in the Basement, was released in December 1977. It featured a duet with Donny titled The Closer I Get to You. Donny recorded his portion of the track from his home in Chicago, and Roberta's was recorded in New York City. The song became the biggest hit from the album and influenced a second collection of duets. Enjoying his renewed success, Donny flew to New York in January 1979 to work on the upcoming album, although close relatives thought that he was not healthy enough to travel. During what appeared to be a normal recording session, there was suddenly a drastic change in Donny's behavior. He abruptly fled from the studio, only to be found in another room huddled in a corner. When he was asked what was troubling him, he responded by saying that white people were trying to kill him, and that they had his brain hooked up to a machine to steal his music. Finalizing only 2 songs that day, producers aborted the recording session before the original scheduled quitting time in an effort for Donny to recover. Sadly, hours later, on the night of January 13th, news broke all over the world that Donny Hathaway was found dead on the sidewalk outside of the Essex House Hotel in Midtown Manhattan after a fall or jump from the window of his 15th floor suite. There were no signs of foul play, as the hotel room door was locked from the inside and the glass from the window had been neatly removed and placed on the bed, leading New York City coroners to rule his death a suicide. Some family and friends found this conclusion difficult to accept and still believe Donny's death may have been an accident given the facts that he was in the midst of a career comeback and living on the 17th floor of a high-rise tower in Chicago, where he had been overly fond of heights and known to open windows and sing into the wind.
Singer-composer Donny Hathaway had his musical roots here at New Jerusalem Baptist Church. At the age of 4, he toured and performed nationally and was proclaimed the youngest gospel singer at that time. The family refused to move Hathaway's funeral to a larger church because of the large crowds expected. Today, family, friends, and some of the greatest in the music field came to say goodbye to Hathaway. Award-winning composer and singer Stevie Wonder, and Roberta Flack, who shared a Grammy Award with Hathaway in 1973. Reverend Jesse Jackson, head of Operation Push, eulogized Hathaway as an authentic genius of our day. And Jackson says he believes Hathaway may have accidentally fallen from his hotel window and did not commit suicide, as reported earlier.
Donny died with his coat and scarf and cap on. It is not likely that one would go through the preparation of full attire just to jump out of the window. How he died cannot consume our time, but rather how he lived and what he contributed. His legacy is music.
Due to Donny's untimely demise, the second duet album morphed into Roberta Flack's 9th studio album with Donny as a guest. Roberta Flack, featuring Donny Hathaway, was released in 1980 and included the 2 completed duets, You Are My Heaven and Back Together Again, becoming instant posthumous hits. A tribute to Donny sung to the theme of his groundbreaking single This Christmas, with a slowed-down groove that captured both the sadness of his death and the magnitude of his accomplishments, was released by the Whispers, titled A Song for Donny. Although Donny Hathaway was only 33 years old at the time of his death, he became an incredibly talented musician who left an unfading mark on the music industry during his brief but impactful career. He was a gifted songwriter, producer, arranger, and pianist, but it was his soulful voice that truly set him apart. Donny's voice had a distinctive quality that could stir deep emotions in listeners, and his ability to convey the essence of a song is unparalleled. His story serves as a reminder that even individuals with extraordinary talent and success can face significant challenges and require support in their battle against depression. His contributions to soul and R&B music are immeasurable, and his legacy continues to inspire and influence generations of musicians and fans alike. Thanks for watching.